So today we have a selection of designer and niche fragrances that are going to keep going all day and all night long. You're not going to have to worry about these quitting out on you anytime soon. You know, one argument you'll see people make when it comes to poor performing scents is that you can carry a decant or carry the whole bottle with you. For most of us, that just isn't feasible. That's not something we even want to think about doing. If you're working a job where you're on your feet and you're staying busy all day long, there's not really going to be a high chance that you're going to think, oh yeah, I need to reapply my scent. Otherwise, it's going to completely go away. And then you're going to stop what you're doing and go grab your bottle or pull your decant out and spray yourself down again, right? Just going to be an unrealistic thought for a lot of people. If you do work a job or you are someone who has no problem doing that, that's great. But for a lot of guys out there, when you're paying a good amount of money for a scent, you want that performance to be included in that cost. You want something that's going to feel as though you're getting your money's worth out of it in terms of it lasting you more than 4 or 5 hours and then being done. So these scents are going to keep up with whatever you're doing. You know, if you're having some long days, putting in some long hours, or whatever it may be, you just want something that performs really good. These are some things to look into. Like I said, designer and niche. So there's going to be a price range, price category for everybody here. We're going down as low as like $30 and up as high as mid $200 here. So a wide range, but no matter where you're at and what budget you have, you're going to find something here that you can afford and that hopefully you'll like. And what was the criteria for this video in terms of performance? You know, what was like a minimum metric that I was looking at for these to be included? And that really is going to be about the, 9-10 hour mark at the minimum, at the lowest point. You'll find though that a lot of these will go well beyond that. And again, all of this is going to be dependent on your skin chemistry and a variety of other factors as well. But, this is a good starting point. And I'll link these down below so you can get these at discounted prices below retail. Also, if you want to be notified of any rare, discontinued, or hard to find fragrances coming in stock, or of any big sales coming up, jump on my mailing list and texting list at the first link down below. You will be the first to know about anything important like that if you sign up. First up, we have Mancera Oud Lemon Mint. Starting off with a niche fragrance here. However, it's basically designer priced. These retail for $180. However, it's important to keep in mind that on pretty much all of the major discounters, you can get these for below $100. So before you rush out and buy this from a retailer, if you walk into your Saks Fifth Avenue or something, keep in mind you can save a ton of money by just ordering it online from a discount website. Same authentic product, just significantly less. I've actually seen these as low as $70 to $80 for 120 ml full presentation. I'm talking like great price per milliliter for a niche scent. This is actually cheaper than a lot of other high-end designers. And for the most part, Mancera as a whole are known for putting out strong performing scents, strong, high quality, all of that stuff. Oud Lemon Mint is no exception. This is one of their more popular offerings. It's kind of generally thought as a spring scent and maybe even early summer, but you'll find with the oud in here and some of the sweetness that this one has, you could easily pull this one off in fall and winter time and you're still going to smell great and you're still going to get great results. This one in particular for me has always been a 10, 11, 12 hour performer. It is crazy strong and you're not going to have to worry about it. Next up we have Dior Homme Parfum, only including this one now because currently you can buy it, it's in stock. So I always try to not feature stuff like this when it's unavailable everywhere, but that's not the case now. This is one of my favorite designer scents ever. It is super strong. It's heavy on the iris. You get a little bit of oud, a little bit of rose, but that combination is not as overpowering as you might think. But this one is all about that signature Dior Homme DNA, more notably the Dior Homme Intense DNA with the sweetness, but it's amped up even more here. This one's much stronger, it's richer, it's heavier, it's overall more complex and more interesting compared to Dior Homme Intense and a lot of other designer and even niche fragrances on the market. There's so much going for this one. Fair warning, this is not for everybody. This is definitely something where blind buying it could get you in trouble if you're not fully sure of what you're into. I want to put that out there because, that's something that can easily fall into. Make sure you know what you like or you get a sample of it first or something. but this will not let you down when we're talking performance. This is, for some, too strong. Next up, we have bond number 9, New Harlem. Jumping back over to niche here. On discounters, you're looking at around $230 to $250, somewhere around in there for 100 milliliters. Typical bond price. Now, for a while, this was sold out everywhere. It was a production issue that I think bond number 9 was even open about, and they actually informed people about it, that it was, currently not being produced due to some issue. Finally, it's back, so they're making it again. You can buy it again. It's back on discounters already for below retail. The retail is up in the 300s. And this is one of the most realistic gourmands I have ever smelled. I'm telling you guys, this is not me over-exaggerating when I say that this smells like breakfast. Like, it smells like pancakes with a bunch of syrup and some coffee on the side. It sounds blatantly bizarre and weird for a cologne, but seriously, I mean, you smell this one, it almost makes you laugh. It's like, wow, that literally smells like pancakes and syrup and coffee. And then you kind of start thinking about bacon and stuff like that, because that's usually associated with, even though this doesn't smell like bacon, it is just an unreal gourmand. And it is also incredibly strong. Again, for some, might even be a little bit too strong and too overpowering. It's very syrupy and sweet. And so it's another one where you want to make sure you're fully aware of what you're signing up for here if you were to go into a full bottle purchase. But if you're after one of the most realistic, strong gourmands out there, I can't think of a better choice. Now we're going to switch gears and go from one extreme to the other. The last couple options there were pretty high in the price bracket. This is down to the bottom. $30 to $35 for this. It's Bentley for Men Absolute. Now this one has cedarwood, papyrus. I don't remember if they have incense listed, but it definitely gives off a smokiness. But really heavy on the cedarwood. Pink pepper as well. Cedarwood, spicy, smoky, and rich. Very woody. No surprise, right? That's not shocking. But this is going to be also going in the opposite direction of the bond. Bond number 9 New Harlem is sweet and syrupy and probably about the furthest thing from a masculine smelling scent, just kind of being honest there. This, however, is a masculine scent. It's a lot more traditional, a lot more maybe old school, at least compared to new releases these days. Now, it's not like an aromatic fougere or something, but you look at the trends of what's being put out now, and this is the furthest thing from it. So definitely something where it smells a lot more like a men's scent, if you're someone who's a bit older, maybe that's what you're used to. I've said this before, and I still get this, almost has like a rum boozy opening. They don't have whiskey or rum or anything like that listed in the notes. I haven't heard of anyone talk about it, but smell the opening. You get an alcohol smell, and it's not even like a perfumer's alcohol. It's like a boozy, sweet rum opening. Dissipates rather quickly, and you get into the woods and the pepper and the spices, but nice little note about that. I love it. It's affordable, has great performance, great quality. Frankly, the entire Bentley for Men line is top notch for the price. Next up, we have Terre d'Hermès Parfum. So, even the original is pretty strong, pretty powerful, especially in its scent delivery. It's another one that's very woody and very spicy. This one's also very woody and very spicy, even more extreme. This one's pretty heavy on the vetiver as well, so it's a little bit soapy, but it's earthy, it's woody. You get some of that orange in here. You've always kind of heard people say that Terre d'Hermès smells like an earthy orange, and it's a pretty good, accurate representation. This is that, but even more intense. True parfum concentration, so it behaves as such. Projection is not overpowering. The scent trail it does leave behind is strong and heavy in the air, and the longevity of this one is great as well. Not going to have any issues with this one in terms of performance. It's a very classy and sophisticated scent. If you're someone who works a job where you're often dressed up, business meetings, you just want to be taken seriously, wear this. This one does kind of have that CEO personality and smell about it, so it's a great option. Also kind of changing gears here in terms of scent profile. Pricing is not too far off. Y Eau de Parfum by YSL. So, you're right at around $95 right now to $100 for this one on discounters. Great price. If there's ever a chance where you can get any YSL Y under $100, get it, because that's about as low as you're going to see it. Oftentimes these are just up over 100 a little bit, some into the 110, 115s. So again, $95 right now, that is the time to buy. You're probably not going to see it much lower than that. And that's for 100 ml full presentation. I've got it linked down below. You guys know the Eau de Parfum DNA. It's their blue fragrance. It's really good. I love it. Great performance out of it. It's got a little bit of a clean linens, kind of aromatic soapiness, but then you get a good fair amount of sweetness from the apple, the amberwood, and all of that stuff. Some tonka bean in here too. You're going to find that given its sweeter nature, it still has a lot of versatility. You can wear it in fall and winter. You can even wear it in spring and early summer. You know, if you're comfortable with doing it, no problems. I wear this stuff in summer all the time and I enjoy it. Love the performance out of it. Love the quality. It's a great compliment getter. Eau de Parfum needs no introduction. Let's go for the new Parfums de Marly. It is all there. This one has a lot of vanilla, cinnamon, all of that stuff. Mostly vanilla. Very vanilla heavy here. So it's another one of those deals where not your traditional men's scent, you know, very sweet. I love it though. I really love it. I've already done a video covering this more in depth. You can check out, and I featured it in a few lists, but it's almost like it gets better each time I spray it. And more likely than not, it's just me liking it more each time I spray it. There's some truth to the fact that scents can kind of, you know, mature and develop and age over time, but this is not old at all. It's, you know, probably a month old since I've gotten it. So really it comes down to the fact that, yeah, each time I smell it, I find different little facets about it that, you know, I didn't discover before. It gets more interesting to me. I really am enjoying this stuff a lot. Definitely one that's going to be pretty heavy in my rotation here while it's cold outside and it's just getting started. So I've got plenty of time to keep wearing this one and kind of seeing how it develops and how, you know, how much more I start to like it over time, or maybe I get sick of it. I do like it, and one thing I kind of compared it to a little bit was Mercedes-Benz Club Black, and there's definitely a similarity there, but don't take that as like, oh, it's a clone. You know, there are some pretty significant differences as well, mainly being that while this one does have a lot of vanilla, like the Mercedes-Benz, there's also a lot of other notes going on in here as well with the spices, the cinnamon, the warmth. You get some sandalwood, some creamier, heavy woods in here as well. Almost has like a slight gourmand, chestnutty accord, and I don't think they list off chestnut or anything like that. There's a slight bit of that, almost like a little bit of a toffee smell too, kind of leaning back on that gourmand comparison there. So that's kind of what I'm getting out of it. You know, it's, again, one that's been developing quite a bit. You know, each time I spray it, I'm picking up on new things. Just kind of tells me that this scent has more depth to it than you might lead on. You know, if you're a Parfums de Marly hater, you know, you might say, oh, they're all bad. But, you know, this one is even shocking me a little bit. Like, I think there's more to it than meets the eye, and I'm kind of realizing that each time I try it out. Kind of you know, exploring some new things about it. So pretty cool stuff so far. All of that to say, with the PDM, it's got great performance too. That was a very long-winded rant, but great performer. Okay, next up we have Paco Rabanne Invictus Victory Elixir. It is Elixir 30 anymore, ramping up pretty quick, and this is a good one. I like it. And to be fair, I like the original Victory as well. That one's a bit more dusty, powdery, a lot of vanilla benzoin, but mostly benzoin and tonka bean to give it that powdery nature. I really do like it. Get a lot of amber in that one as well. This one is creamier, sweeter, and richer in a good way. I think a lot of you guys would probably find that you might prefer the Elixir a little bit more. It just depends on what you're after. This one does have heavier, stronger performance. It does leave a better scent trail in the air. It really is pretty dense and thick stuff. And, you know, for an Invictus flanker, I think it's pretty good. Still not overly exciting, but for what it's worth, it's better than you might think. And the performance, no shock, no surprise, is really good. You got to check it out. Last up, this one also was a pretty good surprise to me. I didn't think it was going to be all that great, but I've been wearing it and I actually really like it a lot. It is Valentino Uomo Born in Roma Intense, okay? The EDP. I'm double checking. Yeah, it's an Eau de Parfum Intense, my bad. But yeah, EDP. I really like this because The vanilla vetiver combo here with some of the aromatic lavender is fantastic. One that looks super basic on paper because those notes that I listed off are the only ones that they give you. And of course there's more to it, but it's definitely not something where it's working in their favor. It looks lame, but I do like it. Going into it further, you get some other aromatics along with the lavender, like clary sage and things like that. The vetiver's giving it a little bit of a woody, slight soapiness. For sure some other woods going on, a bit of a sandalwood, kind of creamy, slight sweetness. I'm sure there's a pretty standard tonka bean base in here. Not a whole lot of citrus or fruits or anything off the top. But I do like it. It's sweet, a little bit powdery, but also a little bit clean and fresh too. It's a nice balance between them, and that type of thing works very well. Also has a lot better performance than the original and a few others within the line. Definitely one that I would recommend checking out, especially as this one starts to hit discounters more frequently. And that's where we're going to end it here. Some amazing fragrances that are just going to keep on going all day and all night. These are going to stick around for the ride with you. Definitely going to get your money's worth out of these. If you're after the performance metrics, then go for some of these and you'll be happy. Links will be down below. Deals will be going out to my mailing list and texting list. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.